since the avian influenza in the early 2000s, and followed by global pandemics that we had, SARS and coronavirus outbreaks that shut down the air travel in Hong Kong airport. And we also been through the many years of avian influenza that kills chicken and also impacted people and also wild birds environment. And then we had the MERS that involved camels, and we had some other disease like Nipah virus that involved fruit bats or flying foxes, and many more that has wildlife in the picture of disease transmission loop.
Interestingly, there haven't been many or even any intervention studies that give us insight in how we can reduce the risk of zoonotic spillover by changing this world, the way we behave, the way we live, the way we husband animals. The behavioral and structural intervention research agenda is very new in this field, and that's our core methods toolbox.
I think that's the uniqueness of this project, is that we have these two ways of working, because not only that we understand what's going on, we also try to change people's behaviors, or try to understand how to change people's behaviors with this intervention. So this will be what we call the 3PL intervention: pandemic preparedness and prevention, and literacy intervention. So we collect data first, we do the intervention, we come back and collect later on, and we can have a comparison between intervention areas and control areas, so that we will be able to understand really how can we use local people for being prepared or be able to prevent it. First of all, the PANDASIA project is really based on two main lines of research. So first of all, it's a systems analysis where we try to understand what's going on in the field, in the study sites. We have we want to collect information from people. We want to know their daily lives, what kind of work they do, what kind of animals they get in contact with, what kind of domestic animals they have. So wild animals, if they go out in the forest, they go collecting mushrooms, they go hunting, go fishing, just a general understanding of their lives. And we will also collect data on wildlife, what kind of animals really exist in these areas, and which come into the villages as well.
Also, we involve social scientists. How do we work with people to develop an intervention that would actually work? So a feasible and viable intervention that could later on reduce the risk of the possible transmission of viruses from wildlife to people.
It's the viral discovery and finding out what viruses are out there and whether they're crossing from one species to another or staying within the species that they belong to.
To bring understanding and also change and action into this domain, because we want to find out how to prevent it, how we can, at the sort of upstream, early stage, before it becomes a human outbreak, prevent the disease to emerge in humans.
We would like to put the research in practice. So it's not just only the research report, but we would like to have our result to make it in a practical way.
We will collect mosquitoes and flies and leeches to use those because they feed on blood, so we can determine the DNA from mammals, what kind of mammals they have been feeding on. As an indicator of the species diversity in these areas. We will also collect environmental samples, so we have collect air samples, water samples, sediments, and detect DNA as well from those samples. So we have an understanding of the biodiversity in the study areas. And then finally, from the samples that we collect, so we collect bats and rats because they are the most important animals in terms of zoonosis. They make up 60% of all mammals, and they frequently inhabit same areas as people, as humans in these locations, and also a couple of other animals, mammal species, wild animals that we will take samples from. So there will be mainly swabs, rectal swabs and oronasal swabs, and we bring those samples back to the laboratory where we can detect what kind of viruses are circulating in these areas.
Locally in Thailand, we have been quite lucky that our executive from several sectors from the different ministries, permanent secretaries, and director generals, and academic institutions has come together and form a national One Health coordinating unit based in the Ministry of Public Health that coordinate with Livestock Department, National Park Department, the zoo, and academic institutions based on project or pathogen or disease base. So we have been quite lucky that we get exposure to joint surveillance on people, on animals and wildlife. So I think the country capacity and country awareness has been raised up quite a lot.
I think in 5 years we will understand much more about the mechanisms and how the underlying processes of zoonotic spillover, how that works, and which interventions are the most efficient to reduce the risk of pandemics and coming from zoonotic spillover.
This communication effort will be designed to improve the knowledge, attitude, and behaviors of our target populations in relation to animal and wildlife contact characteristics. These are to reduce the risk of zoonotic disease transmission and infections that may be the potential cause of the future pandemics.